So you can't hear us, but the stream started now. If you want to pop in, pull it up on your phone or something, you can. You see me talking, but you shouldn't. Damn it, you can. All right, what is up, everyone? Got another podcast here. This is number 12. I can't believe we're on number 12, but it hasn't been a while since we've done one. We've been pretty busy since April, but I got a new guest tonight. Do you want to go by Gil or Crimson Bunny? Which one do you want to go with?
Oh, Gil is fine.
Gil. He's easier for me. That's how I know you. I got Gil here. Met him at work. Not going to tell you where we work, but he came in one day to help us out, and he brought a Switch in, and he's sitting in the back of where we're working, and I saw him playing Tears of the Kingdom, and then the sparks just flew, non-stop talking about gaming with him and I ever since. But Gil, if you want to introduce yourself and tell everybody about the Spud Club, who you are and what you're into.
Yeah, no problem. So Gil, once again, I'm in my late 30s, so I've been hitting the games for a while. Parents had an Atari and an NES for me when I was born, so that was a great way to start out. Picked up at least one of the major consoles throughout the entire generation stretch. So Nintendo, skipped NES, went to Genesis, skipped Saturn and all that, and went to PlayStation, and picked up one or the other. Had all the Nintendos from 64 up, most of the PlayStations all the way up. So pretty out there. PC wise as well, I was big into PC gaming throughout the early aughts until recently.
Okay. Would you say you were more of a console gamer growing up or a PC gamer growing up?
So growing up, it was pure console until maybe late 90s, I guess.
All right, big question. In the 1990s, were you a Sega kid or a Super Nintendo kid?
Sega kid.
Yeah, that's gross.
Did not have the SNES, so I missed out on a lot of clutch things that time frame. I was behind the ball.
I don't know why I think this, but I'm a Super Nintendo kid, right? I had both consoles. I don't know why I think this, but I always think of somebody who if they were a Sega kid and they love Sonic, I just think of them as dirty. I don't know. I know it doesn't mean anything whatsoever. It's stupid, but
No, I
I don't know.
as a Sega kid, or at least a Genesis kid, I agree with you. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a huge love for Sonic.
Yeah.
You know, Sonic bundled with the Genesis, with I think it was Evander Holyfield fighting or something like that. That was my first two games on Genesis.
Okay.
Played the hell out of them, but I mean, Sonic isn't Mario at all.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if let's compare the movies, right? The Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 movies coming out, and then Mario brings his own movie out and just destroys.
Well,
But
I mean, of course, the talent in that was much better than Jim Carrey in that regard. One on one may be hard to beat, but I
yeah,
mean, that cast versus
just Jim Carrey. Yes. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I think they should have done what Mario and Illumination did, or I should say Nintendo and Illumination did, with the animation style and whatnot, and like make it's a character. I don't know why they had real live action people in a Sonic movie. It didn't make any sense to me. And honestly, these movies are for kids. And I took my youngest Todd to go see the Sonic movie, and he wanted to leave halfway through because he's like, "Where's Sonic?" Like, I don't know, man. And so we left. So that's saying something.
Yeah, I didn't mind the live action portion of that, but what I'm glad they did is scrap the entire Sonic design and come out with what we ended up
Yeah.
seeing.
Yeah.
That first one, it was basically Mike Myers' Cat in Hat, but
Mm-hmm.
Sonic. Yeah, I don't think that would
Yep.
have flown very well.
Yeah, there were so many memes and hate, and it was pretty cool to see that the creators in Sega, themselves saw the uproar, and so they said, "All right, let's go address this," and they actually listened and fixed it. That was cool.
Yeah, listen
Yeah,
to your fans, listen to the people who spend money on you.
absolutely. All right, so you grew up console kid. All right, what type of games were you playing? Like you said, you had Evander Holyfield and Sonic, but were you like an RPG guy? Did you play platformers? What was your thing?
So back then, it was mostly platformers. I would think for the most part. Of course, with NES, Mario
Of
3,
course.
fun stuff. Of course, you had to have that. Genesis. That's when I picked up fighting games a little bit. I did not stick with it because I'm horrible at them. I just play for the fun of it at this point, if anything. And then like RPGs and JRPGs definitely hit me big coming up, especially in the PlayStation era.
Nice, gotcha. So, what's your favorite RPG? If it's Final Fantasy VII, you and Dave are gonna be best buds.
So I'm going to just be completely honest. It is a toss up between Final Fantasy VII and it's either Final Fantasy 2 or Final Fantasy 4, depending on Japan.
Yeah, yeah. So, did you play that on the NES? Final Fantasy 2, we'll call it.
I didn't play that until way late. It was one of those that came out in an anthology collection on PlayStation. So it was a bundle deal. It was Final Fantasy 2 or 4 and Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
So, and that's when they had the nice, pretty updated Akira Toriyama Super Dragon Ball Z looking cutscenes, and then it was bundled with that Final Fantasy, and that's when I fell in love with it. It was years after release.
Yeah, I got you. Absolutely. Do you still got Chrono Trigger with you now? Or do you still have a copy?
So I do have somewhere a reprint of the anthology collection on PlayStation,
Okay.
and I have the DS version, which I think, if I read correctly, was the hardest of the remakes. I can't remember. I know there was a deal about the DS version, but I do not believe I have a cart version now that I'm thinking about it. I meant to buy one, and they're
Good
just
luck.
expensive.
Yeah. There's one at a store nearby where I live. It is complete in box, all sealed. So obviously complete in box. They have it for like $750. I have no desire to have a sealed copy of a game I'd never play, one, and two, I'd never open. Like,
Oh yeah,
I don't get that idea.
I can't have sealed games. Like resealed, repackaged, sure, I guess, but no, sealed doesn't work.
Well, if it's a sealed game that you can't play, I don't know how to put it. So I have a sealed copy of Metroid Prime Remastered because that was hard to find when that first came out a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And bought it digitally on the Switch. But however, I don't know. I just have it's my only sealed game. I think it will be my only sealed game forever.
So I do have a sealed game, and it is a new game. So the Final Fantasy VII remake, I got the collector's edition, not the one with the the doll and the
Yeah.
motorcycle toy or anything like that. But I had the steel case and the fancy stuff in a box. Amazon got it to me. I think it was 5 days after launch.
Oh man, can't wait that long.
There was a hurricane or something. Florida got hit, and everything got pushed back. So
Okay.
I hope everything went all right for them. But yes, it sucked for me. Bought the digital that day. Played Final Fantasy digital, so I do have a sealed copy, but it was not on purpose.
Yeah. Okay. So kind of the same circumstances I had with Metroid Prime, but I will admit I bought the digital version of Metroid Prime Remaster after I already had a copy of Metroid Prime in hand. So I had the physical, and I just couldn't get myself to open it.
I got you. Nice little game day decision, huh?
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm doing okay financially right now. It was only a $40 game too. It wasn't a full price game. So I thought, what the hell? And actually, a few weeks ago, I found a Metroid Prime remaster on the GameCube. Found it for $20. So of course I bought that up. So now I have 3 different copies of the same game.
Oh, for sure. I think I picked up a disc only Metroid Prime. This was a couple of years ago, but it was dirt cheap, under $10.
Oh yeah,
Like
I paid 20 for my disc only, but I found a box for it, and I'll print out a label, and I'll find a manual. I'll have it complete in box here shortly. That's
for sure.
one of my adventures of game hunting. But all right, so we talked about your childhood, right? You got into the RPGs and obviously the PlayStation. So you're my age, right? So that was like 7th, 8th grade time frame. What games?
Think... Yeah, around that time frame.
Yeah. What games were you playing in high school? Like when I think high school, that's when I really became a gamer. For me, that's like when Halo came out. But like that, and I played Counter-Strike a lot. But like that's what I think about when I was a true gamer. What was
high school was definitely the time whenever you would stay up all night playing a game on the weekend or whatever. That for me, that's what it was. At least that's when I really put my feet down and stretched out and became a couch potato for a little bit.
Gotcha. What games were you into back then?
Okay, so that was a lot of JRPGs at that point. So
Nerd.
that was Final Fantasy VII was the comeback for me. So whenever the PlayStation 2 came out, I think I was a sophomore.
Okay.
So I picked that back up thinking, oh, it's a PlayStation 2. Final Fantasy 7 is going to look way better. It did not. But I did replay that. And then it was funny because I picked up 7 again. 8 came out. 9 came out before I got out of high school, I think. So there was a bunch right there. And then Final Fantasy 10. So, and I didn't like 10. I'm probably one of the few people I feel like that does not like 10. But that was the first like PlayStation 2 one. So
Got you.
But yeah, the 8 and 9, I think I got. Oh no, that's right. I did get those right before the 2 came out. I did get them at launch.
Okay.
I just forgot about it.
Yeah.
But besides that, man, I'm not really sure. It was that, and then that's when PC gaming kind of took over for me.
Wow, what games you playing on PC? Because that's about the time like Half-Life came out and got real big. Released Half-Life 2. Half-Life came out in '98.
Half-Life. Let's see, all of the Half-Life offshoots. So. Blue Shift,
Yep,
all that. Day Defeat, I played a little bit of, but Counter-Strike, I think maybe my sophomore year as well. That was like the beginning of my shooter career online. I mean, I'm no good. I'm horrible at it, I feel like, and I've only gotten worse. But Counter-Strike was the thing at the time, and this was pre-Steam.
Yeah. Those were fun days.
And before Counter-Strike, I think it was Total Annihilation. I totally skipped out on StarCraft and went to Total Annihilation, which was another style of the RTS game. And man, me and some of my buddies from high school, that's what we played all the time.
Yeah, I got a buddy who got me into Warcraft 3. Remember that, obviously before World of Warcraft, but I was decently big into StarCraft. And then he showed me Warcraft 3. I thought that was really neat, and I was, really looking forward to another kind of Warcrafty game that wasn't an MMO. And then, Warcraft, World of Warcraft, like, what, that came out, 04, 05? I remember I was in high school, but I stayed away from it.
I think it was like the summer of 2004 or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. But yeah, I dabbled in RTSs, but I didn't get too big into them. I got them,
Yeah, I think
but I don't play
I
them.
only really played one, and that was like Total Annihilation.
Yeah,
Like played. I tried like Civilizations and stuff like that.
yeah,
I did not like those. But the resource grinding and making little units and blowing things up, sure, I enjoyed that. And I pretty much only played it online. I never played any of the single player games with that stuff. So that was really cool at the time.
yeah. You gotcha. I always play a skirmisher match. Like, it would be like base building versus a computer. I never had the guts to play online. I figured I would just get crushed, and I did a little bit when StarCraft 2 came out, and I just got crushed. I would always get crushed, so I kind of put it down, and I never picked it up again. But all right, so let's bring ourselves all the way to today. So we got through high school or in the mid 2000s. What? Tell us from, like, I don't know, 2005 to now.
Man, 2005 would probably be Battlefield 2, I think,
Yeah,
is
all
that
right.
time frame. So
Yeah.
Battlefield 2 for years, and then what it felt like at least. Then Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare dropped.
Okay. Yep.
Played the hell out of that online. I mean, that was every day grinding on Call of Duty at the time. And that was before Prestige, so you would have to like just delete your everything and restart from zero, no
Yep.
Prestige, just for the shits and giggles of doing it. That
Yeah,
was really it.
just for the emblem on the side. I remember, like, yeah, yep, yep. I actually just ran into my Call of Duty Call of Duty Modern Warfare, whatever it is, the 2007, 2008 game. I just ran into my original copy yesterday. I was putting my game collection on the wall. I finally got, well, I put it in the closet, but I put it on shelves and I got it all displayed nicely. But I ran into it. I'm like, man, the hours I got into this game. But
Yeah,
yeah,
man. And then after that, I got really big into, I guess, League of Legends for a hot minute there
okay,
when it was still in beta. Once it went live, I was done with the game by then.
yeah,
And it was much more of a grind or payout at the time. So I never went back to that. Played Smite for a little bit after that. And then that was, oh man, Xbox was kicking hard at that time. Mass Effect 2. I guess this is now like 2010 time frame.
okay,
So Mass Effect 2, Modern Warfare 2. This I all played on console. And then I built my first PC around, I can't remember what year it was, maybe 2011, 2012,
okay.
2011, I guess, when Battlefield 3 came out, if I'm right on my time frame.
Yeah, I think 12. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been the beginning of 12, or it may have been going into the holidays or something like that of 11. But regardless, built a computer, my first real gaming computer ever. I had it for launch of Battlefield 3, and I mean, that was great. It wasn't
Yeah.
exactly the nostalgia of 2, but it was still a really solid game in my opinion. And then there was still some League of Legends at that point. And then, man, I'm trying to think of what I did between 12 and now. I mean, it was mostly just I went in a huge retro mood for a while there. Then single player, random stuff. Got to touch all the God of Wars finally because I was really late on that. I think I played them right before the third one came out, something like that. So I'm kind of spread all the way out. I've done a little bit of everything.
Gotcha. All right. Well, awesome. Well, there you go, everyone. That's Gil. He is part of the Spud cast now, so everyone's kind of got an idea who he is and where he's from and what he's into. I think he's very similar to Dave, but because like in the what the RPGs and whatnot. But anyways, let's get into the news that's been going on now. So you said earlier before we started the podcast that you just watched the Nintendo Direct today. Are there any things you want to talk about or takeaways or things you're excited about?
There was a handful of things I think I'm really excited about. There's of course like good things of note, but man, going down the list, that Persona 5 Tactica, that's up my alley. For some reason, tactics games has become a big part of what I like to play recently. Maybe because I'm getting old and slowing down. And of course, Super Mario RPG, the remake coming up.
That's right.
Loving the idea of that. Kicking back to the beginning of it, or right after the Pokemon stuff, which cool. I like Pokemon, but I'm not going to get into the expansions. But Sonic Superstars looks pretty, but the local co-op is something I'm interested in because I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I want to go back to Mario RPG real quick. So
yeah.
I know this is going to be a hot take. All right. But if Mario RPG, how do I put it? I thought it looked good on the Super Nintendo. Right. I know it's hard to come by, and like buying a cart for that, it's going to be pretty expensive if you even find one, like in the $100 range. All right. I get that. But Nintendo has the Nintendo Online stuff they got going on. Why? I don't know why they wouldn't just put Mario RPG on the Nintendo Online program. Like, why are they remastering it? Like, it's RPG. You really don't need that. In my mind, you don't need that remastered. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
No, I'm picking on what you're putting down on that. I don't know what their thinking behind it is, but considering the amount of Mario games or franchise games coming out just on this Direct, it seems like they're doing a big Mario push.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just had the movie, blew the doors off.
Yeah.
You have the brand new Mario Wonder. Let's see, Peach is getting a game.
Yep.
They're remaking Dark Moon for Luigi.
Yep, that was all cool.
This is just, I think they're just flooding the market for this period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I kind of wish what they had done is like release Mario RPG on the Nintendo Online, whatever it is, the thing you can subscribe to, and then make a Mario RPG 2. Like they could have done a whole new game. If they're going to put all this time and the effort into making a Mario RPG, just give us a new storyline. That's just me. I'm just an idiot. So
the other side of that is, being honest. Now, like I already said, I didn't grow up with the SNES. I'm late and behind the ball on anything SNES. But I do not remember anybody talking about Super Mario RPG growing up. Maybe it's not as popular, I guess, or as known as people think it is.
Yeah, it was a late game. I think it came out already after the N64 had come out. It's a later model, and it's a real niche model, right? How many people like Mario RPG? Like, I guess you can talk about Paper Mario and all the Thousand Year Door and all that, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's not a super known game.
Exactly. So. And I'm being honest, you just said it. It would be beaten out by Paper Mario tenfold.
Yeah.
That's the one that people will go back, oh, wasn't that the first Mario RPG?
Yeah,
no, Super Mario RPG was. I mean, I didn't know about it until I started my retro dive. I mean, I found me a cart and everything, and I was like, oh, dang, I heard about this. Let me play it.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, definitely. I don't know. Just an idea. I'm kind of getting tired of these remakes. Like, I was super excited to get the remake of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, right? That remaster. That was great. I got something like my nostalgia hit, and I kind of moved on. I kind of want something else. And it's kind of the same thing. I've noticed a bunch of remakes are coming. Like, Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. It's a game I'm playing through right now, getting ready for the Assassin's Creed Mirage. We'll get into that later. But they're remaking Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. They announced that a while ago. Ubisoft's having problems with it, or there's something going on. They're going back to the drawing board on it. But they've already remade that game, right? They came out on the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube timeframe. They had a remake on the PlayStation 3, and now they're redoing it again for a third time. I'm kind of tired of these remakes. Just make me a new game. It's going along the same lines of making me Mario RPG 2. Because I can replay that. You know, they released it again recently on the Super Nintendo Mini Classic. You know, the RPGs on that. I don't know. I'm getting frustrated with all these remakes. I want them to give me new stories. You know, I don't know if I'm making any sense.
You know what? It might be what our generation is. We are the nostalgia generation. So as long as they're making it, we are, as the highest consumers, are buying it. So that's why they're probably going to do it and continue to do it, because it's going to sell regardless. There's some nostalgia bug from somewhere, and it's going to sell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're there. That's it right there. It's this. We know this is going to sell. That's why we're going to make it. You're right. They are a company. All right. That makes sense. I like that. Thanks for putting me in the right place.
For sure. Oh, and then so speaking of the direct, there was like 2 trilogy anthologies coming out. So you got Batman Arkham Asylum series, and then you have the Metal Gear Solid collection, or whatever they're calling it. I mean, that's how many times has the Metal Gear Solid been remade?
I don't know. I'm not a fan. I am not a fan.
Oh,
I played 5 for like 3 hours, and I didn't get it. It was weird.
Oh, that's a rough place to start.
Yeah. Well, no, hold on. I played 1 on the PlayStation Classic, and that came out. Well, I played like 20 minutes of it, if that.
So. All right. So, complete honesty. Metal Gear, Snake's Revenge, Metal Gear Solid, anything before 2. Well, I did play Metal Gear Solid a little bit on PlayStation, but it was way too hard for my really underdeveloped brain. So I didn't really get into the series until 2. I think it's Sons of Liberty, Patriots, something like that. I cannot remember right now.
Yeah. I got you. I've been told to get into it, but it's just another one of those things that's on my backlog that I don't think I will, because that's a primarily Sony platform, right? I think it did that ever come out on GameCube? I don't think it did.
GameCube got a Snake Eater, I believe.
Okay. All right. So they've dabbled here and there outside of Sony, but as a retro collector and whatnot, I am honestly trying to stay away from PlayStation because my wallet can't handle it. There are so many things on PlayStation that I just won't be able to get to. So I am strictly staying away from PlayStation, except for the newer stuff like PS4. I got, and I might buy a PS5 just for Spider-Man. And I know the guys in the chat want to talk about Spider-Man. We'll get to that in a minute, but yeah.
Well, yeah, you should go ahead and buy that. Then you can. Wait, you're not a Monster Hunter player at all, are you?
No, not at all.
Then we don't need to talk about it.
Yeah, maybe one day when I find it in the store for cheap, I might pick it up. So, but all right. Anything? So Arkham Asylum, or the Arkham series you brought up. So this is, again, a remake, right? Or it's not even a remake. They're just they're porting it from like the Xbox 360.
Yeah, it's just a straight port as far as I could tell. I don't know if they're porting the console version or the PC version. I don't know the details of that.
I hope it's the console, because I remember the PC version was trash. I heard it got so much crap about it, but
man, I played Arkham City on console and on PC, and I had 0 issues on either side. I don't know. Now, Arkham Knight, the third one, I started it off on PC, and that was kind of hot garbage on PC, I believe. I think that's why I put it down. So I never played the third one, but I did play the in-between one, which was like the prequel by Rocksteady, I think.
Yeah, okay.
But that game is not on the collection.
Yeah, I played Arkham Asylum. I got about 3/4 of the way through, and then I ran into a glitch or a bug where I couldn't progress. I put it down because I would have had to go back a couple saves. I put it down and I never picked it back up. And my wife bought me Arkham City, and I was on a long work trip and I was playing that for a little bit, but I couldn't get into it. And I think the only reason, like the advantage now for it coming to Switch, is it's going to run just as well as the Xbox 360 would run it. But now you have a portable ability to play it. However, I don't like playing my Switch portable. I'm just not that guy. I know you can do it. I've seen you do it, but I won't do it. So it's a pass for me. If I see it again, if I do see like the trilogy on sale on Steam or on the Xbox storefront, or again, if I find it at a store pretty cheap, I'll pick them up again. but I don't see an advantage on buying it on Switch for myself. That's just me.
So I don't know if this is going to be a full retail game. I'm assuming this is going to be under retail sale. But if it's down in the 50 range or low 50 or high 40 range, maybe I'll pick it up if I want to feel really nostalgic. Once again, nostalgia in our generation buying stuff.
Yeah.
But besides that, I mean, it's a pass. I mean, if you've never touched it, this would be a good time, or played on its core formats.
Yeah. I'll have to see. I have so many games to get through right now. I've my backlog is so big. I gotta slow down. But all right. Other games in the direct. That new Mario game, Mario Wonder. That one looks sweet.
Super trippy, huh?
Yeah.
Whenever he got the Wonder Seed, I think they're calling it.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I mean, I kind of want to see what that elephant's all about. It looks like you're just really big and you get to bump stuff out your way.
Yeah, they slow rolled that right at the end of it. Like, hey, and here's the new Mario power up.
Yeah.
Can't be Tanuki in my opinion, but I mean, the elephant looks kind of cool. He looks dapper. But there was a subtle reminding of what was it? Super Mario 2 Yoshi Island. Oh no, the one with Baby Mario and Yoshi. Yeah. What was that? That's okay. So I had it right.
Yeah, you had it right.
Yeah, whenever you had the trippy scenes, this reminded me of that. Not as on the nose, but like everything just goes wild, colors. The green pipe was inchworming along. Yeah, I just thought it was crazy.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. My son wants to get that game. I showed him the trailer for it, and he's all excited. He goes, "You buying me this game?" I don't know, maybe. He thinks when you see a commercial, like you can buy it immediately. He doesn't understand the idea of presenting something for the future. He's only 4, but we'll see. Maybe I'll get it for Christmas or something.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a holiday launch.
Yeah, it's kind of like a side note for me. It's like I could take or leave it. Like, okay. More for him.
I know we've talked about it offline before, but I will probably play this before I play Odyssey.
Oh, come on. You got to play Odyssey. Like,
I'm not trying to not play it. It's just there's been something else that's been taking me away, There was a couple times I would be wherever I saw it, I have it in my hand, and then I'm like, ooh, shiny object.
Listen.
Something else.
Okay. Listen, you have to play Odyssey. You have to go buy. I don't care if you get a used copy, but this weekend, tomorrow, go get Odyssey and play it. Even the chat's telling you that Odyssey is a good game. It's a great game.
I know it's a good game, and I want to play it. But once again, I just got video game ADD at times, and that ADD is kicking hard.
Okay, so I know you stopped and you played Tears of the Kingdom. You made that happen. You stopped yourself playing anything else, and you went and played Tears of the Kingdom. This is Mario's Tears of the Kingdom. This is the Breath of the Wild. Odyssey is phenomenal.
So here's the other thing about that. I do not have Mario tattooed on my skin, but I do have a Triforce tattooed on my skin. So obviously I had to stop everything I was doing, which wasn't really anything at the time because that was the end of the semester. I'd just done my finals, and then it came out at the end of the week. Of course I had to get it. It was right on time.
Yeah.
And it's Zelda. I mean, Legend of Zelda. It's I'm sorry.
I get it.
That's my jam.
But listen, I know you have a child on the way. This is your time to play Mario right now. I promise you. You're not going to have time after that. But
currently my time right now is playing Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, we'll get into that in a minute. We got all night. We'll get into Final Fantasy.
For sure.
All right. So, okay, I want to talk about what wasn't at the Nintendo Direct. There was no Metroid or Metroid Prime anything. I really thought they were going to announce Metroid 2 and 3, or at least 2, and talk about Metroid Prime 4, right? As they've been silent about that game for 4 years now. I think
it's been a hot minute.
They announced this in 2017. or 18? No, 7. Yeah, it must have been
It
17.
was like the year after the Switch launch, right? There was
Yeah.
like some big, like they gave you the Metroid Prime 4 logo
Below, yeah,
somewhere. I
that's how they
swear I've
closed
seen
out.
it.
And E3 is how they closed.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then they came in 2 or 3 years ago. They were silent for a while. They came in. They said they had to they restarted it. Okay, cool. I feel like they should have given us an update. Like, hey, this is where we're at with it. Sorry, we can't show you this time. However, we're still making moves on it. You know, something like that. And then they should have, like, I think they would have put out like Metroid Prime 2 remastered, or like, hey, we're about to release this whenever, or I don't know.
So there's nothing on the current radar. I get that, but if you kind of look at what they did leading up to Tears of the Kingdom, no one knew even the name for. Well, they said we are working on a sequel. We have a sequel coming out. We're
Right.
not going to tell you the name. And then in that time frame, they did the HD remaster of Skyward Sword, right?
Right.
Oh, well, obviously this upcoming game has something to do with Skyward Sword. Maybe since they just released the Metroid Prime HD, maybe this is them trying to prime up the populace a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe.
Right, and I think they should keep that going, because I have never been interested in a Metroid Prime game until they came out with the remaster Prime of original Prime, right? And that got me interested in it, and I haven't finished it yet, but I'm plugging along. It's okay. But it did its job. Is what I'm saying is they put out the remake of it and made it $40, and I got interested, and I figured they would have done something like, or kept doing. Anyways, that's fine. Also,
Look, I'm just
though,
going to say I just did not expect Pikmin 4 to be released before Metroid Prime 4.
yeah, I am not into Pikmin whatsoever. Like, nope.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, we kind of tag teamed, seat co-op basically 1 and 2. The sound of the Pikmin is the stuff of nightmares for me now. So like it's a really PTS moment.
I gotcha. That's funny. Yeah, I've never played a Pikmin game. Like, if I came across it at, like, for the GameCube, Pikmin 1, I might pick it up if it's like at a garage sale and they don't know what they have for like a $2 game. I'll pick it up. Will I ever play it? I don't know. But yeah. But okay, other games that weren't there is everyone was talking about this Zelda Twilight, or Wind Waker Twilight Princess remake duo that's been, I guess, leaked or rumored for like a year now, or 2 years, and I thought it was gonna come out, but it didn't. So whatever, I'll keep plugging away on the GameCube version of Wind Waker, which I think I'm about a third of the way into by now. Again,
Yeah, respectable. Yeah, you should finish that one,
yeah, I will eventually. I will, but I don't know. I had to take a break from the Zelda games, and the main thing I don't like about it right now is I can't switch my views around, my options. I can't switch the thumbsticks to the way I prefer to play, and so it's got me all messed up. Like, I try to look some way and I'm looking the opposite way, and then it's the game I have to get used to every time I sit down and play it. That's all.
I get it. Understandable.
Yeah, so all right, so that's the direct for me. Overall, I think it was okay. That direct wasn't really for me, but a lot of the people I watched on YouTube, everyone loved it. So I'm glad everyone's excited about what Nintendo's doing. Gil, did you enjoy it? Do you give it a high rating?
This was a good one for me. Not for the big hitters, honestly, but a lot of the things in between. Excuse me. Something else I didn't bring up was, of course, Mario Kart. Still big into that. The newest wave's coming out.
Yep.
WarioWare.
Okay.
I got the last one. This one I probably won't get because it's way too actually moving your body thing.
Yeah.
I think it looks cool, but it's not my jam.
Yeah, I got
you. And we've talked about this. I will collect Legend of Zelda amiibos, so I do know there's 2 coming out like in the holidays. So
yeah,
I'm happy about it, and I probably will get at least one of them. So overall, I thought it was a good direct, at least for me.
Well, good. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. Again, I think we did talk about the amiibos. I think we're at the office. I will not collect amiibos just for the fact that as soon as I get one, I'm gonna want them all. And the same thing I'm doing with Sony. Like, I can't afford it. I cannot, like, I know I have an addiction, and so I have to slow down. But
I totally understand. I have limited myself to a good degree. Like, of course, I have a Mario. I think I have the first Mario Series one to launch, and then I have like a Cloud from Final Fantasy
Okay.
VII, and then almost all the links. I have bought all the links that I could find. I mean, yeah, links. I was about to say Zelda's. I was like, and I have a couple from Breath of the Wild that are not Link, but that's about where I've stuck to,
Yeah.
and a couple Splatoon. But
Yeah,
that's for me.
I almost bought the Ocarina of Time link, but they wanted $50 for it, so I nope. And then I deleted the eBay app off my phone. So
Yeah, the Ocarina of Time one where he's actually blowing on the ocarina, and the Wind Waker one when he's got the baton in his hand.
yep.
Those are two that I definitely need that I have not seen on a shelf ever.
Yeah, yeah, I found them on eBay. They're pricey. But all right, so let's move into PlayStation. Some of the guys here want us to talk about, well, Spider-Man 2, but we can just talk about the PlayStation Showcase. How did you like that one? What did you think of it?
I'm going to be honest. I don't really remember the PlayStation Showcase. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Okay.
I haven't rewatched it at least.
Yeah. So when I watched it, I was at work and I was in my work truck and I had my phone tuned up to my speakers in my truck. So I had like the 3D audio and nobody was near me. So I cranked it and I was just watching it on my little phone, but the sound, the volume was just getting me like real good. And I was all excited. Like all the things they showed, I'm like, oh, this looks cool. That looks cool. And they showed Spider-Man 2 and Venom. Like, this looks awesome. I'm like, I need to buy a PS5 now. And then like half the games that they came out or showed were all third-party games because I guess Microsoft did that thing like, hey, these are awesome games, showing like half of everything PlayStation just showed. I'm like, oh, I already have an Xbox, so I'm good. But the main thing they did show that I actually really cared about was Spider-Man 2. Have you played the first Spider-Man or Miles Morales?
So I played all but the last DLC of
Okay.
Spider-Man. I did not pick up Miles Morales. I think we talked about that.
Yep,
That's
I
one of
guess.
the ones you told me I have to play before my child's born.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it is on the list. I have it on the PS5. I think it was one of the free games for the
Really?
PlayStation Network or something at one point. So I have it ready to go as of right now, and we're going to get to it
Yeah.
probably
Okay.
before Odyssey.
All right. I'm okay with that. I am. So, backstory on Spider-Man for me. Okay, for a while I was playing Apex Legends. That's kind of what got this channel started. Really got big in the Apex Legends, and then I played for like 2 years straight, every night for like 2 hours a night, and it was getting so competitive and sweaty, and I just wasn't having fun. I liked hanging out with my friends, but it wasn't the same after a while. So I looked around at games I wanted to play, and I was playing like Red Dead Redemption and Halo Infinite and all these games. And then I was looking at games I hadn't touched, which was on the PlayStation 4. This was right when COVID was starting to we're supposed to like kind of getting out of COVID. So this was late 21, early 22. Yeah, early 22. I hit my buddy up. Well, I go to Jack. Well, Mikey. I took a road trip to see my grandma, and my grandma lives close to where he lives. And so we met up. Well, he came to my hotel and we hung out for a night. We hadn't seen each other for about 6-7 months at this time, but we hung out for a while. And he said he bought a PS5, and I knew he had 2 PS4s. So I said, "Hey, could I buy one of your PS4s?" And he said, "Yeah, like $100 for a base model PS4." And I said, "No, I'll pay you $150." So I paid him one. This is when a PS4 was still going for like $250, $300 because the shortage was so big that they started shorting out the PlayStation 4s. So I bought his PS4, and one of the first games I bought was Spider-Man. Well, gotten back from my trip, paid him, game came in, and I was just randomly streaming. Like, I didn't really ever do it because the PC I had at the time was this gaming laptop that, well, the whole reason I did stream was because I bought this expensive gaming laptop and I never really put it to its use. I wouldn't even play games on it. It just was there, and it was my work PC essentially at home. So I wanted to test it out, stress it, actually use it. So I started streaming on it, and I streamed Spider-Man. And really, that's when this channel kind of got traction. I had at one point 500 people watching me which blew my effing mind. But so I really like Spider-Man 2, not just because people came and watched me on Spider-Man, but the game's really good. Like, just the swinging through New York City, that's a blast. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, very big upgrade since I think the last one I played was Amazing Spider-Man 2 on GameCube.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
So I mean, and at that time that was big. But yeah, definitely.
So I would say I went through all Spider-Man. I beat that fairly quickly, and then I went into Miles Morales. Like, I remember, I think I stopped my Spider-Man stream, and I only streamed for like 20 minutes. Like, well, I can't stop there. So then I popped in Miles Morales, and I played that for like another like 3 hours. But both of those games are so good, and they're so fluid. So I was excited getting back to where I started, trying to get a full circle here. Spider-Man 2, seeing everything, seeing the gameplay, seeing Venom coming in. It looks like it's corrupting. I want to say Peter Parker. Anyways, messing up with Peter, and then Miles Morales kind of being the backbone there, looking like he needs to do something to help Peter. I think it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. So we'll see how it plays out.
I have this feeling it's gonna definitely go down that rabbit hole a good bit for the story wise, just from what we can tell. But I know the first game really threw me for a loop in the way that the direction that it ended up turning, like around 2/3 into the game, the last third, the last full quarter of the game.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it's going to have some big twists like that and as well. So we'll see what happens, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. But like Spider-Man, you kind of always know what's going to happen, right? Like we knew. I'm not going to ruin it, but if you've watched anything to do with Spider-Man, you kind of knew what was coming with the ending of that one. And it was good though. But Miles Morales, I don't know that much about. I didn't. So the whole game to me was a surprise. And I very much liked it. I did like it. So
yeah, I think the only backstory I know on Miles Morales is what comes from the movie that came out. Not Across the Spider-Verse, but the other one.
Okay. Into the Spider-Verse?
Into the Spider-Verse or whatever it was. Yeah, that one. That's the only background. I knew who Miles Morales was. I knew about him in like the littlest terms, but I have no idea what his comic backstory is. But I like what they built in the PlayStation game.
Yeah. Hold on. So in the chat, they're saying, I feel like Miles and Peter are going to fight and you get to choose who you want to be. Oh, okay. So a theory here is you get to choose which side. I am definitely going to go with Peter Parker. If I get to play as Venom, absolutely.
So, like, do you play the whole storyline, you think? Like, I'm picking Miles and then I'm playing the whole game as Miles? Or is it going to be kind of like Maximum Carnage where you have to do this section as him and then you may get to choose which from, like, other sections? I don't know.
I think it'll be like Grand Theft Auto 5 where you have to be a certain character to get through certain story parts, but you can kind of swap between the two. Do you ever play GTA 5?
I played like a little bit of it. That wasn't one of the ones that I got into. I think 4 killed it for me personally, but I get what you're saying. I kind of understand. The wife had played it before, so I've seen a little bit of it.
Okay, you definitely get into GTA 5. Like that's another one you need for your list. You got to play the campaign at least. I thought it was fun. It's goofy as hell.
Just once again, it was one of those other things was coming out, I guess.
Yep.
And then I was like, do I really want to play it? No. Would I play it? Yes.
Yeah.
There is a copy of it floating around this house, though. So.
Yeah, that's a game I think I bought 3 times. I bought on the 360, and I bought on the One. Oh, and then I got it for free on the Epic Game Store. So I have.
Well, the question is,
3.
How many times have you bought Skyrim, though?
None. 0. Yeah, I guys on my channel all the time like, hey, can you play Skyrim? No, not gonna do it. But yeah, I know that's the joke. Everyone is ported to everything, you know. And I think the same thing is kind of going to happen with Spider-Man 2, or like, The chat here is talking about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
Are you
looking
reading
at
the
it.
chat too? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anyways, let's see. So, anything else in the PlayStation showcase you want to talk about or discuss, or do you? Or I do want to talk about something. How do you feel about the handheld thing they got coming out?
I know nothing about it. I think you talked to me a little bit about it a couple weeks ago. Was
Yeah,
that what we were talking about? I really know nothing.
maybe so.
Enlighten me.
So basically, they took a PlayStation 5 controller, they cut it down the middle, they put a screen in the middle of it, and you can stream from your PlayStation 5 to your device. So you can play PlayStation 5 games handheld, I believe. I don't know exactly how it works because I don't really care about it.
So what you're saying is we're going to have another PS Vita?
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It did not. PSP and PS Vita did not do great in the States. It didn't have very good backing. It
Yeah.
was killer in Japan, apparently. But talking about a waste of just good stuff. I mean, there was so much interconnectability. So
Yeah.
hopefully this time it does well for them. I don't know if it's going to beat out the Switch and the Steam Deck. You know.
I don't know if they're going that hard or going into it. I know they're going into a handheld, right? I don't think they're trying to really go toe to toe with the Steam Deck or the Switch, because the Steam Deck, it's like you put the hardware, or I'm sorry, you put the software onto that Steam Deck and you can go anywhere. You're not streaming, you're playing off of that Steam Deck.
Very
right?
true. Yeah,
I
understand.
don't think you're doing that on the PlayStation. I'm pretty sure you're streaming that technology onto your device. And I think that's a waste. In my mind, I don't like handheld. Like, I don't even like playing my Switch like handheld. I need the controller. I like my TV. You know, I like the 1080p at least. That's just me.
No, I get it. So, like I was saying, the PS Vita did have the same type of
Okay.
deal with it. I mean, it wasn't as large as a PS5 controller with a screen on it, but it had the same deal, and that still made. I mean, the system still flopped in the US. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. I'm not saying it's a bad thing or a great thing.
Yeah.
I would like to see it prosper, just
Yeah.
because I'm a nice guy, I guess.
Yeah, and not everything is going to be for us, right? Like, it doesn't just because
Exactly.
it doesn't mean it's for me. But yeah, I get what you're saying. So, all right, so I'm going to move on from that. Let's go on to Xbox. Did you watch the Xbox showcase or whatever they're calling the Xbox stuff?
I think the only other thing is that thing that we watched at work for a little bit. I can't remember what that was. Summer showcase.
Yeah, the Jeff Keighley whatever summer Game Fest. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Game Fest.
Outside of that, I haven't watched anything except for the direct. I watched it today because I knew it was something else
Okay.
would pop up. I generally watch them, but I just hadn't yet.
Well, I'll just talk about some things for the Xbox I want to hit on, and it's really kind of complaints. Well, first we'll do the good stuff. So, Assassin's Creed Mirage. This was a showcase at the Summer Game Fest with Jeff Keighley. However, I love it. Like, I've been looking up the collector's edition. Like, it's $150, but you get like a statue and all this extra stuff. So I might buy that because I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan, or at least the old versions. Like, when the original Assassin's Creed came out, Christmas Day 2006, I remember vividly going to Hollywood Video on Christmas Day because they were the only store open. And with my Christmas money, I bought Assassin's Creed. And I sat down and played the crap out of it and loved it. Then Assassin's Creed 2 came out. Same thing. I played every single one until Syndicate. I didn't like Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Did not like that one. And then I kind of stopped. I tried Origins, and I didn't like it. I put like 25 hours in the Origins, and I didn't like it. But now they're going back to basics with Mirage. Have you seen the trailer for this at all? Or know what I'm talking about?
We talked about it. I haven't seen the trailer for it yet. I was actually kind of looking it up while listening to you, because I wasn't exactly sure what path they were taking. I know you said this was going back to OG Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying that. Yes, I did enjoy Origins to a degree. It felt like a different game, but I did enjoy it at
Okay.
least. I put about 40 hours into that, I think.
All right, so we're about the same on Origins, and it was all right, I guess, but it wasn't what I was looking for, right? I didn't like the open
Gameplay
world.
wise, it wasn't what I was looking for.
Yeah.
But the story, because all the teasing about Origins, I think that's what really kept me playing the game. Because I didn't do any of the extra stuff in it.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that. I did want to. Yeah, I should go back and kind of look at the story of Origins and how the Creed started and all that. But anyways, so they're going back to the way things were, the old mechanics, and I really hope they don't screw this up. Like they screwed up Assassin's Creed 3 with not allowing you to pick your own path to make the kill or get through that different part. Like you had to go a certain way, and I hated that on Assassin's Creed 3. But all the other games leading up to that, I think they were perfect. Like Assassin's Creed 2, that game was perfect. There's not a flaw in that game.
There's not one bad Ezio game, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Ezio, pretty good. Actually, cool little detail. I don't know if Mikey wants me telling you all this, but he named one of his kids Ezio, which I thought was fucking cool.
There you go. I mean, no complaints there.
No, I think it's his second son. Yeah, his first son's Damasio, second son's Ezio, and I don't know what he's named his most recent kid, but Mikey, stop having kids so you can get on the podcast.
What a breeder.
Yeah, good for him. But yeah, like he told me that they named his kid Ezio. I'm like Assassin's Creed. He's like, yeah, I'm like that's awesome. Good for you. But anyway, so
no hate.
After I finish Sands of Time here, I think I'm gonna start Assassin's Creed 2 again. I'm pretty sure Epic Game Store gave me a free copy. Someone gave me a free copy of Assassin's Creed 2. I'm gonna play it again on my PC and really crank the graphics and try and melt my graphics card, which it won't get anywhere near, but I'll play that. Anyways,
I think I have all of them up till maybe up till Origins or whichever one came after Origins that I played a little bit of, the Greek one. Yeah. So I think I have all of them on PC, and I've played most of them on PC.
Yeah, I haven't played the last few. I haven't even bought. Like I didn't buy the Greek one that you're talking about, Spartan or whatever.
Odyssey.
Yeah, didn't buy Odyssey, and I didn't buy the Viking one. I wouldn't do it. Like the Viking sounds awesome. Like I love Vikings. That sounds really cool to me. However, I don't like that open world shit. So
I was gonna get it, and then I saw a bunch of the video of the glitches that was happening at the time, and I think that was like the poison pill for me. Once I knew there was issues, some pretty significant issues here and there. I was like, okay, I wasn't super into it, and now I really don't want to play it.
I got you, and that's why I don't ever buy games day one. Typically, lately, the last 3-4 years I haven't. I wait like a couple months, unless it's like this Mirage, where I will be a day one adopter, because I've been waiting for this next game since like 2014. I don't know when Brotherhood came out, like something like that.
Been around 13, 12 or 13, something like that.
Because so you had a Black Flag. Everyone loves a Black Flag. I couldn't get into Black Flag. I didn't like the sailing.
You're the one guy. Yeah,
I know. Rogue though, Assassin's Creed Rogue. Well, that's just like Black Flag too. The last one I really liked was Brotherhood. That's what I really, really liked. And what was the last Ezio game?
I was trying to remember what it was.
Started with an R. Yeah, that's it. And I remember
that one was solid.
Spoiler alert. I got fucking goosebumps when you finally find everything you need for Ezio, and he's an old man, and you open the last tomb, and there's Altair sitting there, like in his old gown, and you just see his skeleton, and like that's Altair's fucking armor.
Yeah,
that was like
old man Ezio rocked my face.
Dude,
definitely seeing all that at the end.
Yeah,
and I love how they had his gadgets, his assassin gadgets, like picking up that he was a much older man.
Yeah.
Dude. The hook thing. It was just beautiful. It was a great ending of a three game trilogy for him.
I might have to play them again. God dang, I love those games. Anyways, okay, so that's what I'm looking forward to. Some Mirage, and the Xbox showcase was great. I didn't really care about anything else. Now, getting into Starfield, this is just a side note, and this is just because this is my podcast and my channel, and I'm just going to rant for a minute. All right, Starfield is coming in at 30 frames per second on a console that I bought because I was going to have games running at 120 frames per second. Also, I bought a PC monitor to hook up to my console that is a 144 hertz monitor so I can achieve that 120 frames per second that my console said I was going to be able to play. Now here we are, 3 years into the cycle of this console, and the newest, greatest game is coming out at 30 frames per second. I'm mad. I do not like that.
I feel your frustrations.
I don't know if you even care about it, you being a PC guy, but I do not think that's acceptable. That's just me.
It's not good. Not good at all. And yes, I would play it on PC given a chance.
Yeah. So I have not got the Xbox Game Pass for a couple months because I've been pretty busy with other stuff, and I don't like wasting money. And that's now going to be $16 or $17 a month or whatever. They're upping it $1. I'm not buying it until they fix this. It's unacceptable. Plain and simple. Unacceptable. I am so used to my games being 60 frames a second. 60 frames a second should be the minimum. Like, bare ass minimum. You know, if they can get Call of Duty Warzone running 120 frames per second on that console, they should be able to get any game running at that frame. That's just me.
Yeah, with no optimization as well.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. I can keep going on and on, but I'm going to move on. I will move on.
You know what? It's probably best if we did.
Yeah, I was getting mad. Like, Microsoft, fix this. All right. Last thing I want to talk about, obviously we can go on forever, but there's this magazine or this website called Nintendo Force. I know I've told you about it, but I just kind of want to bring it up in the podcast. I don't know how I fell upon it, but it's what Nintendo Power used to be. So Nintendo had their own magazine that they would push out every month talking about the newest stuff, like on its way out in a magazine form, because back in the day, that's how we'd get our news. There wasn't YouTube videos and all that out here. So Nintendo Force is a whole bunch of old editors and publishers from different gaming parts, not all Nintendo Power, but they're just from other gaming parts of the world. And they all came together and they started this company called Nintendo Force. And now they are basically making Nintendo Power, but calling it something else. And it's a magazine you can pick up. They have a Patreon. You pay $5 a month and you get a physical magazine once a month with a poster in it. And I think it's really neat. I've gotten 2 of them so far. After I get more and I get more into it, I will do a video on them and a review on Nintendo Force. But they got a Kickstarter going on right now with Iwata. It's a whole book for iWive, and I did the second tier. It's only $30, and I'm going to get a physical version of the book and an audio version. And the more people sign up, the more everyone's going to get once they hit their goals. So I don't know if you all want to learn about Iwata and everything he's done with Nintendo. And I think he was a big part of the Nintendo Wii. He really helped turn the ship around after the failure. Well, people say failure of N64 and GameCube. I don't think they're a failure, but I guess they're not a commercial success. But
64 was a late bloomer.
I think I got like rose glasses, right? Whatever they say, because like got that nostalgia, and that was my console, was N64, and I loved it. But that doesn't mean everyone did, and it doesn't mean it won the console war. So
for sure. It was a rough time.
Yeah, it wasn't good for them until they went with the Wii. Even GameCube was even worse. But anyhow, everyone should check them out on Nintendo Force. Check out the Kickstarter. So you can spend as little as, I think it's like $20 as your first tier. You can go all the way up to like $120.
So yeah, you were talking all its goodness, and I went back, and so now I did subscribe. I'm not going to get the June issue, but when the next one comes out, I'm going to go ahead and get the physical copy. And then I think it was $15, and I bought the first 3 years for like 2013. Did not know Nintendo Power was going up until 2013.
Yeah,
but I bought some of the old ones, all digital, and I'm just looking at them here and there. Like, and they're still talking about the Wii U, talking really good about it. And I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, it's
Wii
pretty
was
neat.
a little rough.
Yeah, they have sections in there, and they talk about magazines or issues from Nintendo Power. Like on this date in 1996, or in this month, this was the cover, and this is what the like. It has a whole page dedicated to old Nintendo Power covers and magazines and what they were talking about. It's a huge nostalgia hit, at least for me. Like I read it, I'm
No,
like,
for
oh
sure.
damn, Donkey Kong
I'm digging it.
64. Yeah.
I'm digging it, and I definitely did the Kickstarter for the Iwata book as well.
Yeah. Which tier did you go with?
So I think I went with the physical and digital.
Yep. Same.
Because
Yep.
I'm being honest, digital is just the way I absorb media now.
Do you? I wanted the physical book to put on my bookshelf.
I want to shelf it. Yeah.
Shelf it, right?
Yeah.
But I also wanted an audio because I'll actually listen to it. I know I'm not going to sit there and crack a book. I know I'm not going to do that. I dropped out of college 3 times for a reason. Like, I will not crack a book. However, if you give it to me in an audio form, like I listen to podcasts almost every day, right? And look at us, we're making a podcast right now. Essentially, like we're writing a book just by talking. But if that's how I will consume it. I've read multiple books or heard. Like I listened to the whole a whole book that was like 600 pages long. I listened to it all one summer, and I did it chunk by chunk. While every time I took a shower, I'd put it on and I listened to the whole book all the way through. But
expand your mind.
Yeah, use that. So okay, complete side, has nothing to do with games, but whenever I have time. Or like I'm doing a mindless task like driving to work or doing the dishes or folding laundry, I like to put something on that I can learn or listen to throughout that time and not waste that space of time. Does that make sense?
I totally understand.
So.
I have an hour and then an hour and a half drive to and from work every day.
Mm-hmm.
So music was good for the first couple months of that drive, and then it turned into, well, now I just listen to podcasts pretty much.
Yep, same thing.
Yep.
All right, that's everything I gotta talk about. Gil, you want any rants you want to go on, or anything you want to touch on?
Nothing too big, really. I could say like the last 3 games I've played, last 4 games I've touched. Wild Hearts, which is the Monster Hunter clone, basically. It's the EA's version.
Okay.
I enjoyed that. I think I played it a little bit after launch, like a couple of weeks after launch. And then it's just great. If you like Monster Hunter in any way, you would love this as well, because it's like Monster Hunter with other stuff. And then the Advance Wars reboot camp.
Ooh, how was it?
That was fun. I have not beaten it because I picked up other things and had school stuff to do, but it is very crisp, very beautiful, updated to the max. Definitely worth a pickup. It plays just like it did back in the 2000s.
But isn't it a $60 game?
I think it was a full price game.
Yeah, I'm not paying full price for a remake game like that.
Now it is 1 and 2, so I'll give it that, because it's only missing 1 game, I think, which is the DS version. It's like Dual Fronts or something. It was worth it to me. I guess it's just because the Advance Wars is just, once again, in that tactic pool that I've been buying and playing recently, and nostalgia. But it was nice.
I gotcha. I think I have that game on... No, I know I have. I don't have the reboot version, but I have the Advance Wars 1 on my Super Nintendo Classic, the one I have modded out that I showed you. I have it on there.
Yeah.
And I tried playing it, but they wouldn't stop talking for like, it was like 10 minutes of them nonstop talking, so I turned it off.
Yeah, it's a lot of talking between rounds. Yeah, that's just what you get when you buy one of those games, I guess. I'm not sure. But then Tears of the Kingdom came out. Smashed that. I think I texted you 110 hours at completion of the game for me. So I did a lot of side stuff, a lot of exploring. Got bored eventually, and then just played the rest of the game. It was like a nice hour or 2 of the last bit, you know.
Yeah, I got you.
And then on the 22nd, I picked up Final Fantasy 16. And I don't know how far into the game I am, but I played a lot on Friday. So yeah.
Ooh, hold on.